So now that we have knocked out Damascus, now we can start focusing a little bit more on Dark Aether and Dark Matter Ultra. Now, our first guide here is going to be Dark Matter Ultra, because that is just, I play more multiplayer than anything else. And there's a lot of similarities between Damascus and Dark Matter in that you want to make sure you have the guns completely leveled up, because it will just make this entire process go significantly faster. So, go ahead and follow the guide in the card above to check out how to level up. Or, if you're too lazy to do that, go ahead and hop on to Plunder, grab the gun of choice, rank it up on either supply runs or recons, or if you really feel like just playing multiplayer and grinding through this, you can do that as well. But that's most advisable to do with the launchers especially, because the ARs and SMGs, you really can bump through these as you're going. But, I mean, let's be honest here, having all of them unlocked to begin with just makes life easier, and you can do kind of multiple challenges all at the same time. Like, for instance, getting the 100 headshots while also getting the 300 eliminations, while also trying to shoot enemies taking cover from you, while also trying to get the 75 kills while they're stunned or blinded or whatever. These things all stack, so it just makes life easier to do it that way. However, let's say we're going to focus on individual tasks. But first, let's take a look at the first couple that are the eliminations and headshots. And these are most easily done in hardcore, Nuketown, and face-off modes. These modes offer you lots of action, lots of opportunity for these headshots. Now, I would also say get 5 kills without dying 20 times is also kind of in this this group. But a lot of people just can't do the chaos of those modes. So in that case, you want to kind of back off of that and hit TDM or domination modes. But again, hardcore, so you don't have to have a lot of shots per kill. It just makes things easier for those of us that aren't great at tracking or aren't great at flicking. But let's say you're moving on to the long shot kills. Long shot kills, I would say, are most easily done in, again, hardcore modes, usually domination, because you have an established point and a distance at what you can be. So once you figure out what gun you're using, you can kind of back off until you get the long shot medals popping up on screen, and at that point you know where you need to be to get those long shots. Now, there are definitely better maps for this, like Combined Arms is a great option for this if you don't mind the extra shots to kill. But again, it does kind of add to the time to do this because of the shots to kill. Now, Longshot is one of those things that it's going to kind of infuriate you on core modes because of the recoil and things like that on this particular game. So like I said, hardcore is definitely the way to go. I would load up with a 3 times the Task Force barrel and whatever the foregrip is for that particular gun that reduces recoil, usually the Field Agent or the enemy with the Spetsnaz grip on some other guns. One of the more infuriating things you're going to do is to kill enemies detected, stunned, or blinded by your score streaks, equipment, or field upgrades. Now, the way that I would approach this is to use my stuns, UAV, harp, and field mic to my advantage. And this is most easily done on core face-off or hardcore face-off, either way. But a small map really makes it so you can take advantage of that field mic area. Now, I'll also say that if you're using this in hardcore, you will not get the minimap to pop up for the field mic, but it definitely will still count as if you can see them on your minimap. So just kind of keep that in mind and kind of use things to your advantage. You also could go ahead and run a Quartermaster perk that will kind of replenish your stuns, so you can keep on throwing those stuns as you're walking around, just annoying people with those stuns. So another one that people have a lot of problems with is the shoot and kill enemies taking cover from you. Now, this means that the body of the enemy is partially concealed by cover. That means essentially that you can only see the head, maybe the shoulders, things like that. Now, the way that I kind of can manipulate this is I'll go ahead and position myself behind cover so that their body is obscured because of my doing rather than their doing. So I'm in control of where I position and where they position into my crosshairs. It's all a matter of just kind of positioning and being aware that you have things covered in that way to make the hits count and make the kills really matter. So like I was saying before, if you have all of these unlocked, this should be a fairly straightforward and easy one. It's kill 2 enemies rapidly 25 times. Now, when they say rapidly, they don't mean together as in like collateral, which will come into play later with rockets. They actually mean one and then the other. And that's a really distinct thing in this game, is rapidly is kind of a broken thing. It seems like there has to be within a certain amount of time, within it seems like 2 to 3 seconds, but longer than a half second. Like there's a definite window there that it wants to be, and I've tried to measure that window several times, but it seems to change depending on the gun. So just kind of keep that in mind. Rapidly is probably going to be one of the most frustrating ones you're going to deal with just because of the inconsistency of the tracking of that particular challenge. So on the opposite side of the long shots, we have the point blank kills. So these kills are, from what I can tell, within a meter or a meter and a half, but it seemed like they only wanted to count within a meter more often than not. So you have to be literally barrel stuffing people. Don't worry about lasers. Don't worry about hip fire stuff. Just you're barrel stuffing them anyway. So focus more on being quiet with ninja. Focus more on gung ho. Things that can keep you moving while you're doing this. And slide kills, while kind of point blank, definitely do count. So that keeps you harder to hit while you're moving around in these super tight, rooms and things like that. Another method would be to sit in populated corners near doorways and just kind of wait until people are walking through and dump them as they walk in, basically holding their hand when they walk in. I mean, it's just one of those challenges that it's also going to have a little trouble tracking because of the range. So keep in mind that the smaller maps, the better, and the more congested things are, the better they are for you with this particular challenge. Sniper rifles offer up some of the most unique the challenges. So, like for instance, we're looking at Flora, which is going to be get 50 kills while holding your breath. Now, while you're using a sniper rifle, you should pretty much always be holding your breath. So as soon as you scope up, you should also be holding your breath as you're doing that. That allows you to get those solid quick scopes with no sway, and you put your sight right back down. Now, as well as this, you should also be getting the science ones, which are one-shot, one-kill medals. You should be hitting headshots with sniper rifles more often than that anyway. It's just a reflex thing. You'll get used to it eventually. The modes that I would definitely suggest here is going to be sniper-only mosh pit, just because it puts you on a level playing field. Now, mind you, people that are playing this might be really good at quickscoping, as it's one of those modes that I really enjoy. When I'm not playing on stream and I'm playing for just the strictly fun of it, I love to grab my Pellington and just go into these modes and just have a ball. It's an absolute blast, and it's some of the most fun I think you can have in Cold War right now, because the sniper mechanics are a little different than that they are of Modern Warfare. Now, the struggle here is most likely going to be for you getting used to these guns. There's a quick loadout that I'm going to throw up on screen real quick. That's just what I like more often than not on these sniper rifles. Just use that to your advantage if you can. Now, when we're looking at these long shot kills, you're really going to be doing probably either combined arms or fire team game modes. That's just going to help you get out and hit those headshots a little bit easier at a distance that you can kind of control. So launchers is definitely the one that I've heard the most griping about. So the way that we're going to approach launchers is by doing, like I said earlier, the supply runs, recon, level up the two launchers, the RPG and the Sigma. Once those are leveled up, then you can go back through and go and play some combined arms and fire team. So I would definitely suggest fire team for this more often than not, because when you parachute back in, you're going to come in above the score streaks, which means that you could pretty much RPG stuff that UAV that you're going to land on or land next to before you hit the ground and get that done. Or you can hang in the air, and using engineer, forward intel, the assault pack, and cold-blooded, you can look around and check your map, and you'll see the enemy vehicles and equipment on the map, which gives you a distinct advantage to just kind of be the angel of death from the sky, raining RPGs and rockets on them as they attempt to do their objective and have their fun. Now, your entire goal here is going to be to try to wreck their fun as much as you possibly can, because you need to destroy 3 kill streaks or score streaks or enemy vehicles in 10 different games. Now, that is a very, very difficult thing to do, other than in this game mode. Destroying the 25 ground-based score streaks is also super simple to do in this mode, because people are driving around in vehicles more often than not, and those all count. Now, while I was doing this, I also tried doing this on Warzone like I did for the Damascus guide, but I found a very interesting point here, is that the RPG, more often than not, will disable a vehicle, but will not blow it up, which will not get you the kill. Now, that is just not good for us, so we want to avoid plunder with this. And the amount of rockets it takes to take down a assault helicopter is just abysmal. It's like 6 rockets to take down one of the assault choppers, so it's just definitely not worth doing in plunder at all. Which means we're pretty much relegated to taking them down either in that fire team mode, or if you're feeling kind of risque, you could load into a regular old TDM or 12v12 match and hope people get a bunch of UAVs and counter UAVs, because those are definitely the easier ones to take out. But that being said, it's still a giant pain in the butt and going to take you a lot of practice. I could try and explain to you the RPG, but it's random enough to where you kind of just have to throw rockets in the air, and that's where the assault pack comes in, because the assault pack actually will replenish your rockets as well as give you extra XP. I mean, it's like 25 XP, but it's something, right? Melee weapons are a ton of fun in this game, and it's actually one of those things that I'm actually going to say, hey, go play Core Face-Off for this. Core mode is going to give you a little extra health and going to give you a little extra bullet spongy just to make sure that you can get the kills that you need. So what you're going to do here is you're pretty much going to run Stim Shot, Ninja, Tac Mask, and the Quartermaster pretty much for all of these, other than the ones in which you're required to disorient the enemy by flash, stun, smoke, things like that. So the way you're going to do this is to usually hit them with stun. Once they're stunned, you can go ahead and silently get up on them, get your knife kill, and back on off, back to the shadows. So that includes kind of getting the 25 backstabber, the execute 25 finishing moves, which is easiest done in fire team. So what you're going to want to do there is sit by the objectives or kind of off in the grass if you can kind of watch the enemies hiding out. Stun them, and then get your finishing moves on them while they're alone or while they're downed. Downed enemies definitely count for finishing moves, so it's worth doing and harassing them with that. When it comes to getting 50 kills with a knife against enemies disoriented by your smoke, flash, or stun, definitely say Core Face-Off is the way to go, so you can just kind of huck those stuns out and do what you need to do. Smokes have a little wider range, so you could smoke it out, but then also you can't see as well, and it makes things a little bit harder for the lunge, it seems like, on the controller. Finally, we are blessed in this particular game with not having to do the stupid thumper because the DLC guns count for these challenges. So I'm going to suggest you actually grab the nail gun for this and go ahead and knock that out, because the nail gun is very similar to the SMG. So the nail gun, you're going to have to get 300 elims, 50 headshots, 5 kills without dying 20 times, 50 kills while sliding, 50 kills detected or stunned by or blinded by your score streaks, equipment, or field upgrades, 50 point blank, and kill 2 enemies rapidly 25 times. This is obviously significantly easier than the thumper. The thumper is, man, it's pretty much like the launcher score streaks ones, and having to get 3 score streaks or enemy vehicles killed in a game 10 times. That's just miserable. It's a miserable way to go. So definitely use the nail gun if you can for this. But if you want to give the thumper a shot, Engineer, Forward Intel, the Assault Pack, and Cold Blooded will definitely help you along here. Hardcore Domination, Hardcore Face-Off, Combined Arms, definitely going to be your modes of choice for this. If you guys felt like I missed anything, feel free to check the link in the description down below. There is a link down there with a written tip guide on this. And if you don't find what you're looking for, go ahead and comment and let me know, and I will definitely answer with what I can figure out for you guys. Again, if this video helped you guys out, give it a like. If you like me, give me a subscribe. Have a good one, guys. I will see you around.
Hostile spy plane established overhead. Taking A.
Oh shit.